Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What. Welcome, 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 welcome to the party. Welcome to the party, Starlights. Listen, we back at it again with Kanye West. I took a little break, but you can't stay away too long because one thing about Kanye, he is definitely going to keep his name alive out here in these streets. So we're gonna talk about Kanye and his latest, I don't even know what we want to call it, shenanigan, work of art. I don't know, y'all, but we gonna talk about it because he didn't put something out there that got the people talking, trying to dissect, figure out what the heck he talking about, and all this, that, and the third. But I also want to talk about our girl Teyana Taylor. I don't think I've ever discussed her on my platform. So we're going to talk about Teyana Taylor. I actually like Teyana Taylor. I think she's very talented. Um, I want to say I have maybe the last album that she had put out. That was the one that she kind of had gotten upset about, saying that she felt like I think Kanye released it prematurely. But I mean, that is like an all-time favorite of mine. I got to look up and see what the name is. But listen, I love that album of hers. So it's come out that it seems like she got something going on or some type of collaboration with Kanye. So I want to talk about that and just get into that. Also want to talk about recently, I had heard about it, but I hadn't really kind of deep dived in it. But apparently, I think I talked about a little bit about her talking about trying to sue some people who were just putting out false rumors about her. So I didn't know the seriousness of like what was going on with her prior to kind of people putting out some rumors about her. So we just gonna get into Teyana Taylor too and see what's going on with sis. How's she doing? How's her mental health? And yes, like, is there reason to be concerned or, is Teyana Taylor just living? She has a beautiful family. So most of the time, when I see Teyana or hear her name, it's for the positive. She just be minding the business that pay her. And that's how it should be. So we're going to talk about Teyana Taylor too on this live. But first, let's get into it with Kanye West. Like, what is going on with Mr. West? Yay, Yeezy, KW, whatever the heck he want to be calling himself these days. But over here, your mama named you Kanye West, so that's so that's what we be calling him over here. So we're gonna get into it. So y'all know how I do over here. I'm gonna share my screen, but before we get started, for those who have joined this live, welcome. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. As I say, we are on the road to 1,000 subs. We are getting there. Thank you for those who've recently subscribed. Thank you for also my day ones, those who have been riding with me. But y'all, we gonna get there, and we gonna get there with your help. This is the party over here, and we are the Starlights. We get into all things celebrity, YouTube. Like, listen, if they talking about it, we talking about it. We getting into all the tea, the lemonade, the Kool-Aid, the juicy juice, the Powerade, whatever you want to call it. We get into it over here, and we show receipts. We don't just be making up stuff, pulling stuff out our ASS. Like, we show receipts. So I'm gonna go ahead and do what I do over here, share my screen and show you this article that TMC is like that on the internet. Barbara Walters, y'all know it be like y'all TMZ be there like, yo, what you just did 2 seconds ago, because they be quick to report on things. And let's be honest, it's not that often where basically it comes back and they're having to retract, anything like that. So it's like TMZ be like knowing, like that's why they've been around for so long. So we're gonna get into this article from TMZ.com, and it reads: Kanye West, quote, "No one wanted to tell me I was dead. Claims in poem he was murdered." So breaking news. This is actually released today, March 8th, 2022. So this one honestly crept up on me, and I was just kind of researching, trying to figure out, okay, what we were going to discuss tonight. When I saw this, I'm like, okay, because listen, but listen, it just broke today, so it's no wonder why. Okay, I hadn't heard it before because it's TMZ breaking it. So it goes on. The article goes on to say Kanye West penned a super anonymous poem about his death, an event he says has already occurred. The foundation of his premise is murder. So it says dead. I'm guessing that's what he's named the poem. And we're going to get into it. The poem is pretty incredible and appears to be a case of art imitating life. If we can be so bold to interpret, it seems he's telegraphing that all of his recent struggles, notably his divorce from Kim Kardashian, has left him lifeless, but he didn't realize it until now. So let's just let that sit there. Kanye I've talked about him numerous of times. I probably got the most content probably talking about Kanye when I really think about it. And he's just kind of been spiraling, which some might feel like he's been spiraling out of control, but he's really been what it seems like in a dark place, kind of like acting out, having erratic behavior, to me, borderline psychotic breakdown. Like he's just really been going through it. And the man is on record of admitting or saying that he has, he struggles with mental health, I think in particular bipolar disorder. And to me, like no lies were told when he said that, because the way he's been moving out here in these streets, it is given that is what's going on with him. So many people who either, have gone through like a serious breakup, divorce, or watch someone close to them go through it, or they were in a household where their parents went through it. It's not easy. It's something that can be mentally, emotionally, psychologically, like it can be very draining. And then just when you're going through that whole experience, you're going through different emotions. Like that's something just I learned just with, the background I have when it comes to like the mental health, like it's just the different, especially like when you're dealing with a breakup, the different emotions. It's almost like 1 minute you're like, okay, whatever, like I'm good with it. Next thing you like, no, I'm not. And you kind of go into this depression. Then that hurt, sadness turns into anger and you want to lash out. Then you kind of you're back, going down where you kind of back. It's like all these emotional roller coasters. You guys ever watch or hear anybody talk about where they were breaking up with somebody and they just kept leaving multiple messages? And then like I've heard people play them where 1 minute, the message is like, oh, baby, please come back. I'm sorry. And the next minute it's just like, okay, I don't want to be here anymore without you. And then the next is like, you this, you that, your mama this, it's just their emotions is all over the place. Like, I'm sure I'm not the only one. Listen, y'all let me know if you feel me, if you know what I'm talking about, where you'll just see, witness this person and like they done left 1,500, voicemail messages. And it's like different tones within the message, so that's to me, what I was seeing, what was happening with Kanye. So for him to say he feels lifeless, like this is a statement right here that I'm going to say, I believe him when he says that. And no matter how I feel like Kanye's doing the most, he need to go sit down somewhere, let that woman live her life, learn how to co-parent. I still believe that he is going through it. He was married to his woman. I think they were married, about 7 years or something around that, 6, 7 years. So that's a long time. That has been his life. It has. Whether we sat on the sidelines and scrutinized his life, that was his life. And so now what was his life, it's not his life anymore. That's that part. And I think that's the part that a lot of people struggle with when it comes to the breakup, is because it's like you have to try to find yourself again. It's like, who am I? And I think that's a lot of reason too why a lot of people choose to not get a divorce or not want to let go, is because it's scary, because your life, especially the more years you be with someone or be married to someone, the more your life come intertwined with the other person. Like they say, when you marry someone, you marry their family. When you divorce them, you divorce the family. It's like almost like a package deal. And now Kanye is in a situation where he has to rediscover himself and figure out who he is outside of being a married man, father of four. Like, he has to find who he is, just as Kim had to do the same thing. And why we see her being with a man who's almost like polar opposite of Kanye, so that, that's just part of life. So I just want to throw that out there. So a just a human standpoint, like, I understand that part and I feel for him, and I just hope that he gets through this and he definitely gets the help he need, because he is going through a tough time. But at the same time, it's like, on another hand, I don't really feel sorry for him too much, because, bruh, like, you really thought that this whole little situation that you had going on with that woman was going to just last forever and not go to shit. Like really, dude. Like, so I'm more so on that side, y'all. But I just want to break down the part when he talks about how he feels lifeless and how that's like a real emotion. So let's get into this poem. So it's dead poem. That's what they calling it. It looks like, I think the poem is called Dead. So he says, no one wanted to tell me I was dead, and only people that would talk to me were in my head. No one wanted to tell me I was dead. Only people who love me would visit in their dreams instead. They would come to my grave and sprinkle some bread, so on my tombstone the birds would be fed. I would give new requests, but nothing was said, because no one wanted to tell me that I was dead. They ran through my account like the sign said free bread, but no one wanted to tell me I was dead. My kids would dance for me in a home I once led, but kids see ghosts and didn't know I was dead. Everything was wrong in the press that I read, because nobody would tell me that I was dead. I realized when people spoke to me was only when they was only when they prayed. I don't know, because nobody would just tell me, bro, you been dead. Won't anyone listen to one word I said? Of course not, sir. You know how long you been dead? Funny, it's been a long time since I bled. You think someone who prides being smart as me would have known that he's dead? So now every idea only exists in my head. I guess that's how people treat people who are dead. I found out one day at the newsstand in Purgatory, there was a front page article of my murderer's story. I was so surprised at what it said. This info is for the living, and surprise, you're dead. So the poem, which began with no one wanted to tell me I was dead, is a sad and lonely account of his demise. The article also goes on to say people coming to his grave sprinkle bread on the ground so the birds could be fed. There seems to be references to the divorce. Quote, my kids would dance for me in a home I once led, seemingly referring to the fact Kim now owns the family house. He also airs some grievances. Everything was wrong in the press that I read. This is a family photo. He then reveals in poetic fashion how he met his demise. I found out one day at the newsstand in Purgatory, there was a front page article of my murderer's story. He does not identify the murderer. As for what Kanye says he meant, he's mum saying, I will not explain this new piece, for the explanation destroys the mystery and magic of true love and puts it in a box that can be counted. So in true Kanye West style, this is the poem Dead. It's a very interesting poem. It's definitely one that got Kanye written all over it. They don't call him a creative genius for nothing. It was definitely a creative poem, a very, I used the word eerie, in the title of this video. It was just mysterious. It's a lot. You can definitely break it down. So I do like, how, he didn't provide an explanation for it. He kind of wrote it and kind of just let it sit there, kind of like a think piece. And, people like us can kind of sit and talk about it. Like, what do you think? What's your thoughts on that poem? What do you think? Let me know. if you are all joining this live, or drop it in the comments if you catch the playback. What's your opinion or your thoughts about the poem Dead? Do you think that it's pertaining to his life and how he's feeling, or do you think he just wrote it and yeah, I mean, it's just a piece that he wrote? I'm gonna go with it's about him. I don't know if Kanye is known for just writing things that don't apply to him. He's very in touch with his emotions, like who he is. He may seem like he don't always have control over them, but I feel like he does a good job with making people feel where he's coming from at that moment. Whether you agree or disagree, he's gonna gonna let you know something where you're not left wondering. It's just a matter of, okay, if you rock with what he's doing or his explanation. I feel like this poem was a way of him getting out his inner feelings about how he's feeling when it comes to his situation with his divorce, with his marriage, with the children, with everything. And with that being said, I think that it is good that he is getting it out, even if he's writing it in a poem and not, keeping it within or going someplace out here and just doing the absolute most, which had kind of what we had been kind of seeing him do. I want to say, I'm gonna try to see if I can find it. Kanye actually had been talking about, I think he had put something out saying he felt like Kim kind of led him on or something like that. Let me see if I can find that, because now it's kind of like in the back of my mind where I just fairly recently came across something where he was saying that he felt Kim kind of led him on, I guess, when he was trying to think that things could kind of get better with them or they can get back together. Let me see if I can find that, just to make sure that I was understanding. Let me see. Let's see. With posts. Let me see, y'all, because it was something that I had saw fairly recently where it seemed like he was kind of insinuating that that he was kind of moving the way he was because he felt like, okay, Kim was kind of alluding to or giving him signs that they could kind of make it work. I'm trying to see if I can find that, because it was something kind of a few days ago. I kind of seen headlines somewhere, but I didn't kind of pay it too much mind at that time. I think I was kind of exploring, researching another story when I came across that. But I just want to bring that up because that's, it's, I feel like it's fitting for this moment. So give me a minute. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see. Kim. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Y'all know how that go. Of course, when you want to look for something in the moment, you don't find it. And then after the fact, you come across it. But it was just something that I thought was interesting. And it was something pertaining to like Instagram posts, like her posting things and him kind of reading into it as though it was like, as though she was wanting to kind of still be together. Let's see. Get creative with my words to try to find that. But I'm not finding it right now. But yeah, it was something like that. If I come across it later, I may drop it in the description. I may drop it in the description so you can check it out. But so that's this is the poem Dead. Let me know your thoughts on that. We're going to switch over to Teyana Taylor. So many of you may know Teyana Taylor. There's probably a few who's not familiar with her like that. But we're going to get into it with Teyana Taylor. So just some history of Teyana Taylor. She's I guess because she's an R&B singer, and she's been linked to working with like Kanye West for like a number of years. And if you can recall, for those of you who are familiar with Teyana Taylor, at one point, I guess this was maybe in 2020, she had put out there that she was going to retire. Like she was just tired and stuff. Like y'all, like, listen, I can't do this no more. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen and show Teyana Taylor. So this is like the last big news that I really kind of had heard from about Teyana Taylor's, and this is from Revolt TV. It says Teyana Taylor says she is retiring from music to preserve her mental health. So let me see. This article was dated December 6, 2020. So this was like more so towards the top of the pandemic, but I remember when she came out saying that. So recently, it's like she's been in the studio working with Kanye. So I wanted to just kind of refresh our memory as to, prior to us hearing about her doing some work, where she kind of left off at. So it says Teyana Taylor made sure to clear things up following a message earlier this weekend that she shared saying she was retiring from music. The R&B singer addressed an Instagram post in which she shared her disappointment with how her singing career has gone so far, saying she feels underappreciated, but she took to Instagram Live on Saturday, December 5th to say the message was intended for her record label. She is currently signed to Kanye West, Good Music, and Def Jam. So that's why I want to bring this up, because when I saw that she was in the studio with Kanye West, I immediately remember when she said, y'all, F this, I'm done with music, whatever. And I knew that she was linked with Kanye West. So I'm like, okay, what happened, for now, fast forward, people do have a change of heart, but it's like, okay, I did remember when sis said she was retiring. So I wanted to kind of go back down memory lane to remind you all when she did say that. So this article also says, it's a quote that she had put, or what she said. It says, my post was misread, and I think that my core fans got mad before really understanding what I was saying. In a nutshell, first, let's be clear, this has nothing to do with a Grammy. Like, come on, I've been signed in the industry since I was 15 years old. I'll be 30 in how many days? Y'all know me. I mind my business. I like to say unproblematic. I stay to myself. I mind my business. I'm all about my family, love. I'm not that type, the singer says. So she also had said, I'm tired. I'm just tired, baby. And it's not to throw anybody under the bus, but I do feel like the majority of what the post was towards my label that I've been signed to for almost 10 years. Everything you guys see of me, everything that I put out, everything that I do is 100% me, she continued. My thing about it is that there's no gun to anybody's head to do anything that they don't want to. So yes, I am going to feel underappreciated if I'm putting in 110% and my label is giving me their reciprocating 10% of that. The Gonna Love Me songstress also revealed she has repeatedly asked to be dropped from the label. Quote, I constantly feel alone. I constantly feel unappreciated. I constantly feel failed. You know what I'm saying? Because there's literally no push. I be looking at things like, why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing that? And the crazy part about it is I asked Def Jam to drop me almost 10 different occasions straight to their face, up in the building, at the table, like, yo, just drop me. Y'all, I remember back then when she did that live, and she was like, listen, I asked them to drop me, and it's like I couldn't get them, to just let me go. My thing, her thing is like, if you're not going to invest in me and put in the effort that you should, or that I feel, I deserve, then what we doing here? Why are you holding on to me? Why don't you just let me go? So the article goes on to say some fans took it to heart when she said she was retiring this chapter of her life, but said she has to do it to preserve her mental health for the sake of her children. At this point, I can't let this kill me. So granted, to my fans, I think that I can see maybe how many message can come across. But at the same time, it's a tiny bit selfish to say, well, what about your fans? Do it for your fans. Baby, I got to do it for my mental health. I have to do it for my emotional health. I have to do it for my kids so I can stay alive for my kids. So mental health is so important. And I think that a lot of people downplay it, or when people are going through things, people kind of are dismissive. As we talk about Kanye West, like, to me, his mental health is definitely um at question. A lot of people are questioning his mental health, and the fact that it's a conversation piece and people are questioning it is, to me, a sign that all things aren't right. All things aren't right, because it's not normal for someone's mental health to be questioned on a regular, and definitely not in the manner in which Kanye West's mental health is questioned. So I believe what they say is, there's smoke, there's fire. So if you got so many people questioning, say, someone's mental health, I think that something like that deserves to be explored, because that's just not something that just naturally droves of people start to question. So Taylor has received messages of support from other fellow artists, including Cardi B and The Game. The West Side rapper took to Instagram to share a lengthy post expressing his support for the singer, who he met years ago and took on tour with him in Europe as she waited for her career to take off. The first time I heard you sing, I knew what you were, and also knew it was only a matter of time before you were a superstar, he wrote. You signed to at Pharrell, and I remember how bad you wanted the world to hear your voice. You were writing day in and day out in studio every single day, trying to perfect your craft, but sometimes amazing things take time. So you waited and continued to be you. And then it goes on to say, when we came back to America, your confidence had grown even more, and you had an added energy to apply to your music and everything you were. You signed to at Kanye West, and I remember how excited you were to start a new chapter. Time passed again, but you were patient and you never stopped being amazing and kept your head up as you progressed in your talent. The rapper continued, I always told you you were in one amazing project away from your destiny, and then it came, the album, your classic. Now, that was a really nice post that The Game made about her. It definitely sounded real, very genuine, and he was somebody who saw greatness in her. And, as I say before, she was who we know as Teyana Taylor. Like, he knew her before she was the Teyana Taylor to us, and he saw that greatness in her, just as somebody once saw it in Kanye West and even The Game. Somebody is going to see greatness in you. So that's why it's important for us to keep going when we feel discouraged or feel like, okay, I'm not getting anywhere with this. You got to find it in you to keep going, because all things happen in due time, and what's meant to be will be. You just got to try to keep grinding it out, but while also protecting your peace. So also, the article goes on to say, there's a quote, also live in your glory and never be detoured by the minds of those weakened by the watered down era of appreciation, he added. So this is still The Game speaking. We didn't get where we are by things going exactly the way we thought they would. We made it here because we believed in our craft when no one else did. That part. So I say you got to keep going. I say all this to say your gift is so appreciated. And as your big bro, I want you to know you are truly one of the best artist people inside and outside of music I ever know. Never tip the crown, queen. Love. Like, I love that post. Like, that was everything. That was my first time ever seeing that. And like, I'm just so happy that he did that. Cause like I said, this is somebody who like really saw her for her. And he's saying the things that he told her, and he just gave her words of encouragement. And I'm sure at that time that meant a lot, and it was fuel for her to keep going. And look where she went in her career. Cardi also sent out a message for the singer over the weekend, tweeting, if you know me, then you know Teyana Taylor's album. It's my favorite of 2020. I swear she really got the best album this year. I hate that she feels how she feels because she's so talented and music is so good. Y'all, that's that album I'm talking about. I need to see what's the name of that album because Cardi, like, yo, that's my so me and Cardi, we both be over here vibing off of that Teyana Taylor album. Let me see the name of that album because y'all would probably be sleeping on that album. Because y'all need to get that y'all need to get that album. Let me see. Album. Let me see because it was really good. Okay, it was called KT. It's called, I guess it was Kate. It was, I guess, an abbreviation. So KTSE, and it stands for and keep that same energy. I don't even think I ever knew that. I just remember downloading it, and y'all, it's like everything. It's probably like the most played album that I listen to out of just anything I have in my phone. So I would definitely recommend you get into that. Let me share my screen so y'all can see what it looks like. But y'all really need to get into that Teyana Taylor, that last album. That because listen, me and Cardi telling y'all can listen. We telling y'all better get into this album right here. This is the cover with her laying off the bed and her listen, KTSE, and it says an initialism of keep that same energy. Is the second studio album by the artist. So what, it was only her second album. Wow, it seemed like she's been around forever, but yeah, so y'all need to go and cop that, get that album because it's amazing. I thought it was gonna maybe show a closer picture of like the album cover. That's what I was trying to make y'all see the album cover, but it's just it's an awesome album. I think I had downloaded on Apple Music. So, you can go ahead if you want to, how they do, they let you try, get a little peek or snippet of the songs or whatever, but it's a great album. As you see, it's not a lot of songs on there. And I remember she was kind of disappointed with how the release went down on it because she thought they dropped it. Like she was saying she legit was like at home sleeping and somebody hit her up like, yo, your album got released. And she like, what? And basically the label Kanye, they had released it and she just didn't feel like it was ready. And she was like really in her feelings about it. I wonder how well did it do, but like she was in her feelings about how it went down because she was like, it wasn't supposed to be released like that, but it did. And at that point wasn't nothing she could do about it. Looks like Teyana on the album, Why She's Ready to. Okay, so this is probably an article with her even talking about it. So let me see. This article is, let's see what they saying. Teyana Taylor on the album and why she's ready to get it done on her own. On her third studio effort, the 28-year-old R&B singer and Harlem native channels her energy into tackling new challenges. How do you not like your own album is a question R&B singer Teyana Taylor has been fielding for the past year after she was transparent about her frustration surrounding the release of her 2018 KTSC. That was that album. So it came out in 2018. Her 7-song, 22-minute long record, executive produced by Kanye West as part of the 5-project collection he dubbed the Wyoming Seed Sessions. Quote, it's not about not liking it, the good music artist tell EW. It's about the fact that it was not long enough. Verses were taken out. A lot of stuff I didn't know happened with my album until I actually heard the album like everybody else. Rather than hold grudges, Taylor has decided with her upcoming release, simply titled the album out December 6th, to take full accountability that I need to be 110% on everything I do and not let anyone compromise her creative vision. She found a new way to continue working with her good family too, after directing her own music video for How You Want It, as well as videos she featured in, like her duet with Kyle, If You, I Love You. Taylor has lined up gigs helming visuals for label mates Pusha T, Big Sean, and Designer. Taylor claims she's now ready to get it done on my own. For the album is focused on fixing what didn't work the first time, getting the better rollout, more records, longer records, just giving everybody more. So, oddly enough, while fans have stuck by her through the KTSE dilemma, their concerns now lie in her being too successful and happily married to give them the art they need from her. It's not even a hate thing, Taylor explains. It's really like, we love that you're happy. You deserve to be happy. You deserve everything that comes your way. But baby, we going through it. I'm going to need you to get me through with what you got me through with this past album. So fans were like, yo, sis, we need you to come through. You know, your music is amazing. So can you take a break from your family and come back to work? So that's just love. But like I said, you know, Teyana, you know, there's that history there where she wasn't quite always happy with what was going down at the label. So fast forward to till today. Let me jump over there. She's back working with Kanye. Yeah, this is back working with Kanye, and let's see. So Hot New Hip Hop, this is hotnewhiphop.com. They're reporting Kanye West makes a beat for Teyana in unreleased Jeen-Yuhs clip. Okay. So unreleased footage from the Jeen-Yuhs doc offers insight into Kanye and Teyana Taylor's collaborative process during the Wyoming sessions. We finally concluded the 3-part journey into Kanye's Jeen-Yuhs, the Netflix documentary created by Coodie and Chike that dives into the artist's origin story. However, the hours and hours worth of footage is stashed. It was inevitable that there were a lot of clips that we hadn't seen. So maybe this isn't recent. Maybe this is the clips from a long time ago, and it's just put into the documentary. So let's just see what this article is saying. Time Magazine, who produced the Jeen-Yuhs docs through Time Studios, has shared new footage over the weeks since the documentary debuted. In the final episode of the docuseries, Coodie and Chike breeze through Ye's most controversial moments, but there is a significant portion of the episode that focuses on the Wyoming sessions. Dame Dash, Justin Bieber, and more appear in Wyoming, where Kanye's working on the batch of 5 albums during 2017 through 18. So, okay, so it looks like this was back then when she was working with him, not in more present time. So it looks like she's still not working in the present from what I know. But again, let me know, hey, if you guys are listening, coming through, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Definitely hit that like bell. It helps out with the algorithm. So the new unreleased footage offers a bit more insight into Kanye's collaborative process with Teyana Taylor on KTSE. Ye guides Teyana through recording the record Cold Blooded, which never made the final track list of the process. It's another glimpse into Kanye's mind as a producer rather than rapper, and exploring the unique environment during the Wyoming sessions. Ye breaks down their original production and practically rebuilds it within minutes. Last week, Time shared behind the scenes footage from the Slow Jams music video shoot, where Ye was communicating his vision to the directors. Check out the latest unreleased clip from Jeen-Yuhs below to let us know your thoughts and comments. So I will definitely drop the link for this. I don't really want to play it because I don't want any copyright strikes or anybody to try to stop the video, but definitely, you know, it's interesting. You know, it's Kanye West, so, you know, he definitely gonna bring life to things. But jumping back over to Teyana Taylor and some rumors that has been circulating very recently. Let me know your thoughts on this one. So we're jumping over to radaronline.com, and it says Teyana Taylor responds to rumors she overdosed while self-medicating to cope with serial cheater husband Iman Shumpert. Listen, mental health again. So let's get into it. Because she told us a few years back she was trying to protect her mental health, and she needed a break. So fast forward, we jump into this article. Looks like was dated February 28, 2022. So in 2022, we are still discussing Teyana Taylor's mental health. So it goes on to say Teyana Taylor is fuming after wild allegations about her and her husband Iman Shumpert went viral. In short, the claims are that the 31-year-old singer allegedly overdosed while self-medicating to cope with the 31-year-old retired NBA star's alleged incessant infidelity. Listen, over the weekend, a TikTok user named Clacksh created a reenactment parody video using a story that was allegedly submitted to her via an anonymous tipster who claims to be friends with someone who worked as Teyana's assistant in November. Though Taylor was not mentioned by name, the video dropped enough hints for the average social media user to deduce that information about her. For example, two of the background images used in the clip appeared to be screenshots of Teyana's house. Additionally, she was identified as a Black female singer with two daughters and a TV show. Taylor and Shumpert are parents of a 6-year-old Iman Taylor Shumpert Jr. and 1-year-old Ruro Shumpert, and star on E's We Got Love. So remember, not that long ago, I did talk about, I had heard that Teyana was saying she was going to sue somebody on TikTok or something, but I didn't really know the details. I knew they were saying there was claims, I think, with her with the drug abuse, things like that. I didn't hear anything about the, infidelity part in the marriage, but I did hear, I guess, that alleged, she wanted to sue the person who did the TikTok about her, for false allegations, things like that, I guess defamation. So additionally, the athlete won Dancing with the Stars in November when this tipster claims the singer's alleged drug overdose occurred. A DWTS background was also used in the video, as at Clax explains that the woman couldn't stand watching her husband being showered with accolades for his performance. So this is her in the hospital, her with her husband and her daughter. She allegedly complained to her assistant that he had cheated on her again the week prior, prompting her to have a mental breakdown that involved her acting erratic and having lots of candy. At a certain point, her team allegedly had to break down the bathroom door where they found her passed out on the floor from too much candy. In full, the alleged tip sent to at Clacksh read, quote, "Got some piping hot tea for you. It's been known that this former NBA player is a serial cheater. His wife knows about it, but is slowly losing her mind," the tipster alleged. Last year around November, she actually OD'd because she couldn't take that was being praised on TV and presented as the good guy. The tipster went on to say that the woman tried doing everything to keep him happy, even had threesomes and inviting other women into their bed, but he still cheats. On November 28th, Teyana posted a video of herself in a hospital bed. In the caption, she apologized to her fans for having to cancel a show that was scheduled for that night, explained that her body had given out due to exhaustion. The tipster, however, claims that her story was a cover-up, that post that her body shut down is fake. As I said, she actually OD'd, they alleged, before claiming to be concerned with Taylor's well-being. People can't actually know that, though, because of her marriage, because of her image. Perfect family, but she really is suffering, they said. Such a sweet soul and actually looking perfect like on her pictures. A friend of mine who used to work for her team told me this. At Clacksh, meanwhile, noted on November 28th date and also claims that the singer had instructed her team to use the excuse of exhaustion. Moreover, she flashed a peace sign just like Teyana did. So this is Teyana and her family, her husband. After getting wind of all the drama, the mother of the two went back to her November 28th hospital picture and edited caption to vehemently deny the allegation. "Y'all messy A bloggers are worse than the National Enquirer," she lashed out. The person who sent this a TikTok story is a fool The person who reenacted this Cap A story is a fool. She better have her court coin ready. That part, y'all. Taylor then denied the story point by point. First, she said, "No one has been hired or fired on my team. My whole staff is my family and all still currently work for me." She then maintained, "I do not do drugs. Ish, I don't even smoke weed and I only drink occasionally. If I overdose, where's the 911 call?" She ordered. I wondered, how would I be able to walk myself into the hospital? How would I be able to get discharged from the hospital in less than 4 hours? How would I be able to perform in Atlanta perfectly 2 days later? Good questions. Y'all MFers, including me, watch more than enough of Euphoria to know good and goddamn well I wouldn't be able to do any of those things if I overdosed, she went on. Most importantly, where's the proof, or T, where's the receipts? Question, question, question. According to Teyana, nobody, and I mean nobody, no, I mean absolutely nobody can make Putin, let me see, Petunia overdose on a damn thing. I'd kill I am Shumpert, find ASS, put him in a nice suit and bury him my dang self before I ever let him or anybody to push me to drugs or take myself out. So let's be clear. She or whoever sent this story in ain't spilling my tea because ain't mine to spill. Clout seems to be the only true candy involved in this whole situation, she added. Clout chasing ASS do anything for views. As bloggers have to try preying on Black positive families that are thriving. Instead, start praying for world peace and bring an end to all the craziness going on out here. People are dying. People are still killing our brothers. Our brothers are still killing our brothers. Black women are still the most disrespected and protected women in the world. Kids are still trafficked. We got bigger effing fish to fry here, y'all. There you go. So Teyana, like, you a lie. And that lie gonna cost you. So I'm not mad at her at all. Again, as I say, many people are, taking a number out of Cardi B's page. They like, listen, what we not finna do is have you just saying any doggone thing. Put some respect on my name. So, period. Like, I hope you can afford that narrative you just put out there. So we'll see what happens with that one. I hope whoever that TikToker is, I know you can make a lot of money on social media. So hopefully they pulling in that coin to be able to get a legal team to fight Teyana Taylor and her team in the courts, because sis sound like she wasn't playing. She ain't playing. So y'all know how I do. If anything else come about pertaining to this story, I will definitely bring it back to you. So there we go. We've seen and heard what's gone on with Teyana Taylor over the last couple of years. She says she's pretty much just still living her life with her fine husband, her two beautiful children, and she's just doing her, period. So, she like, leave me the F alone. So, but I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say pertaining to just Kanye and his poem Dead. What's your thoughts on that? Are you concerned, or do you think, he's just kind of getting out his emotions, which can be healthy, and this is how he's feeling? You feel like, okay, yes, that's fine, but he should still go, seek help, from like a counselor, therapist, And then with Teyana, do you like, okay, sis, we need you back. We need some more music. Kiss and make up with Kanye, do whatever you need to do, but we want to hear from you. Or do you feel like, no, just leave the industry alone, focus on your family, do you, boo, do you? So let me know your thoughts. I like to read comments, and I'll respond to them as well. And let me know if there's any topics or anything you'd like for me to discuss, that you'd like to for me to bring to the party, Starlight. So this is a family affair over here. So definitely like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because as I say, we real random over here, so you just never know when I'll go live. But you can also definitely catch the playback to get all the 411 that we drop over here. So until the next broadcast, peace.